we have we would like to apologize for the interruption here there. So if I understand here, if I'm not wrong, so the live stream went offline due to some technical difficulties, but now we are back. So sorry about that. But let me just continue with what I was about to say. So if I'm not wrong here, we can see that the that KLCC is now open, and we should be seeing it right now. Um, so the operator should be showing it right now. So operator, can you quickly show KLCC? There we go. All right. So we are now seeing KLCC and the SPR, the Suranjaya Syarikat Malaysia, will uh, now just release the results. Just in case, we are currently live in Kuala Lumpur Convention Center, Kuala Lumpur. So this radio show auditory, isn't just about auditorial. This is also about visual. Oh my God! Sorry about that. I just noticed SPR Suranjaya Pilihan Raya. There we go. We got it correct. Thank you. Suran Pilihan Raya Malaysia. No, Suranjaya Pilihan Raya. Suranjaya Pilihan Raya. Okay, we got that correct. Okay, the president of the bar is the president of the bar is the president of the bar, and by bar I mean the Malaysian bar in the legal sector of Malaysia. So, Mr. Rolaldum, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling generous today. It's gonna be a strong fight between these three parties.
All right, depends on how you fit in narrative.
From my personal opinion, TDM has been a long-standing winner in this, in majority of the general election due to a strong foundation built on the early years of PDM. BRM has, I wouldn't say BRM has no shot. BRM has a strong shot. This time around, they have changed a lot from how they present themselves. But what I can say is that no matter who or what, BRM has to improve on its debating skills compared to PDM. PDM, on paper, PDM will uh, will have a proper government. On paper, PDM is a more suitable government than BRM. And BRM, honestly, I cannot say they're a new party, but they have not exactly the strong suits that PDM has. So it really depends on what the voters voted today and what we can see on coming.
All right, so thank you for that, Mr. Rolaldum, but just have to interrupt you for a minute. So, we just received our first information of this night. So it appears that PO5 Sobrang Prai has been held by BRM. So this seat was in the G18 in G17 rather in G17 was held by BRM, and I believe in previous elections this seat was also held by BRM. So no doubt that I say that this this seat is has been historic. This seat is the stronghold for PRM. So now, Mr. Loldum, just going over to our discussion again, Mr. Loldum. So as the president of the bar council, what is your what are your wishes for the legal sector of Malaysia?
Uh, Personally, as someone who has been in in the NWS legal sector for a strong 3 to 4 years since the beginning of the movement control order, I wish to see activity. Most important, judicial proceedings to be continued. It is very important because I know administration has other plans, but for the time being, I want what I wish for the government, whoever getting voted in, to continue to work with the members, not work over like what happened the previous uh by the previous government, the chief secretary. You guys were talking about him earlier. I want to see a government that works together with the LPQB board, with the Bar Council Association, work together not to step on anyone's shoes and for the better of the judicial sector.
All right, so we're just receiving another news again that Pahang Selatan has been gained by that is hashtags. We we are yet to know. Pahang Selatan is held by BRM. Wow. Okay, so this is the first gain of the day as well. Historically, historically, this seat was gained by PDM, I believe. The seat was previously the seat was previously held by PDM, and now it has went to BRM. So that is just that is interesting. That is an interesting side of the night. We may see a bit of seat changes, but for now we'll just see until we get the big picture. So Mr. Doom, so uh speaking about the chief secretary, quote unquote, stepping on people's shoes, uh, what what really happened within the conflict between OPQB and the government?
I will speak on the narrative that was given by the former chief secretary. His intention was undoubtedly for the better of the judiciary, but the way he executed his intentions was utterly disgraceful. He stepped over, he disrespected the board, but in his words, he told me that he apologized, and which is good enough because it's not common that you see the chief secretary apologize for his mistakes. Um, I don't want to give my personal opinion on the chief secretary, but I believe that the chief secretary should show more of any statutory board that does not commonly work with the government. And the former chief secretary actually was surprisingly helpful when giving insights. Yeah, pretty much about that.
All right, so we just got another information here from SPR that PDM has won. Let us just go. Uh, let's just wait for the graphics. There we go. It appears that P19 George Selatan has been gained by PDM. So that is another gain by PDM. That is another gain of the night. P19. P19 was held by BRM previously. It has now gone to PDM's control. Now we have seen at least we have seen one holds and two gains tonight. So again, the fate of the election remains uncertain, and we are yet to see the big picture. All right. So, Mr. Doom, so what are your thoughts on the chief secretary?
Personal things, I still think he is a very ignorant and arrogant person. I'm not insulting him. This is the true facts from my observation and many others in the community. From his actions to the things he does, it's very arrogant. It's not stereotypical, but it's the fact and the truth. But I believe he is trying to do good, just not in the right way. I think that's the best way to put it, because uh, we all know this particular person, this chief secretary, for many many years. We know his works, we know his contributions, but his character really never changed. He's an educated person. He's an experienced person. One thing he's like is character. Horrible character. He does not know how to differentiate between whether he is talking to a member of the public, which is the voters, or talking to a personal friend, or talking to someone who is sitting opposite in the Dewan Rakyat. That's my personal opinion.
Right. So, Mr. Doom, thank you for that. So let me just go over to Mr. Triton there, since Mr. Triton is also the guest here. So, Mr. Triton, what are your thoughts on Mr. Doom's observation and statement that he has given today?
Well, it is his individual observation. Some of the aspect he's mentioned it's actually true. I think he's educated, and we see him talking a lot. That is his nature. Like I said earlier, he likes to debate. That is himself. But some may perceive that the way of him trying to relay an information, the way of him trying to communicate might look um disrespectful to some. But as someone who is used to how he's taught, I don't see such thing. But maybe some other will see, yeah. So I somehow agree, but not completely agree with what Doom said.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Triton. So we just got another information, and this time, this information is coming over to from P29. P29, Miri. So now PDM holds Miri. So Mr. Doom.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on the current result at the moment?
Surprisingly, BRM should be um should win should lose by a narrow lead by the PDM. PDM will win narrowly. That's from what I can see. Yeah. That's my personal opinion because like right now, in case I don't want to take Clash's job, but they won another seat. Currently they hold 3 seats out of 2 seats by BRM. But I believe a lot of members of the public wants to see a change in the government. They want to see a new government. They want to see another government bring something new to the table instead of the old and somewhat similar PDM. But personally speaking, from observation, from uh, general knowledge of statistics, PDM will win narrowly. Yeah, that's my opinion.
All right, great. So like our guest Doom here just said that P24 has been held by PDM again. So again, yet another hold here. Kinabatangan. If Mr. Itz Phillips was here, he would be saying King Batangan, but you have another host here which says Kinabatangan, and if you want an accent accurate saying of that, Kinabatangan. All right. So that's enough of that accent show off. So open discussion here. I also have a material here that wasn't really discussed here. So I also have this material which is the minute since the so we're gonna discuss about the shutdown of the Ministry of Justice, one of the oldest ministries to have existed in Malaysian history. So Mr. Triton, so maybe all right, so maybe let's just go over to the person who has the most insight on this, Mr. Doom. So Mr. Doom, what are your thoughts on the MOJ on the MOJ's on the MOJ's death?
Honestly speaking, I'm disappointed. There should be a difference between Home Affairs and Judiciary. That's why it's called the Ministry of Judiciary and not the Ministry of Home Affairs. Difference, if it's separated, there is I wouldn't say I would say more direct and how it was run years. I don't see a problem, but I think personally is that made merge probably saw it as a probably saw it as a more effective way to run things, more all in one server, all in one ministry. But I personally don't like it at all. I like the separation. I like how how the Ministry of Judiciary runs, Kadilan runs separately than whatever other ministry. That's my opinion.
All right. So we got another result here in PO9. There is another gain here. PO9. Which is wait for that. There we go. PO9 Pahang. Yes, there is PO9 Pahang Selatan here. Pahang Selatan. There is another gain, and we got another information here. PO8 Perak Selatan, which is a halt there. So right now it is three seats for BRM and 3 seats for PDM. Like the headline says there, 17% in, too close to call. We are yet to see any sort of change of seats between the two on the total of seats there. But again, for Borneo, it is probably gonna be PDM again, since Borneo is a great stronghold for PDM. That is where most of PDM seats come in. And Borneo actually holds quite a significance in the parliament. They hold 1/3 of the amount of seats in parliament, which gives them a great but again BRM is very, in terms of my opinion, that the BRM is really liberal leaning. Therefore, there is a reason as to why they hold most of the uh, Malayan states Malayan states rather than the Borneo states. So that is all. So again, so let us just go over to the Ministry of Justice again. So Mr. Triton, what are your thoughts on the shutdown of the MOJ? Mr. Triton?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Um, it was an hard decision for us. It was a very um careful made decision because it wasn't just a one-time meeting. We had a lot of discussion. It was like 2 or 3 weeks of talking, and after consulting with the admins, especially the ones that is involved with the judiciary, Hang, for example, um, we are really confident that merging it with the Ministry of Home Affairs was actually a better option than just giving it a separate ministry. There was particular reason, a few reasons actually, because one, obviously we have come to see on how the ministry was operating. We don't want to risk it becoming something like the Ministry of Health. We also merged the Ministry of Health because of the same reason. But obviously, we did that a lot later than the Ministry of Home Justice. Actually, um, it was also like I said earlier, Clash. Our Deputy Minister of Justice was also not someone experienced in the field. So imagine if sorry, if the Minister of Justice suddenly resigned, how would we expect it to be sustained? We cannot have high expectation for the ongoing minister. So I believe by merging it to the Ministry of Affairs, um, a lot of uh, caretaking can be made by the minister of that time, who was Prime Minister. Sorry, the Prime Minister who was also holding the portfolio of Ministry of Health, Home Affairs. But in the same time, the minister who was in charge of justice was also involved as someone who technically hold a cabinet role and he oversee it. So it was a system that we see fit on a short term basis currently.
Right then, thank you for that, Mr. Triton. And let's just go back to KLCC again. P30 Limbang, held by PDM. We see another hold here. And that is all for now. So thank you for that, Mr. Triton. Let us go to Mr. Dark. So Mr. Dark, uh What are your thoughts on the shutdown of MOJ?
So for us, we quite understanding on why the MOJ is shutting down, just same as MOH, which is Ministry of Health, because in previous manifesto, maybe in last election, we did see in Ministry of Health and Ministry of Justice that assist in both party manifesto, and they also list out on how the plan to use it in the ministry. So when the moment we heard that the Ministry of Justice, which one of the ministry that we are aiming for, is shutting down, we quite been shocked, we've been sad to hurt, but we quite understanding on the government decision in that time. So what we want in that moment, we want just like quite understanding on government.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Duck. So 20% in at the moment for the results, and still it is too close to call. So now let us go to our guest, Mr. Alif. So Mr. Alif, because you weren't really present in the in that specific part of the political climate in Malaysia at that moment.
Thank you for the question. So, please wait a moment. Okay, sorry for that. So, what was the question again?
All right, I'll just repeat it later. But now we just got another information that P28 Labuan, was it P28? Sorry, that was P20. That was P20. Sorry. So P20 Labuan is now held by BRM. By BRM, it it is again. It is previously held by PDM. There is also my former seat there. So it is interesting to see that BRM is also gaining some seats. So Mr. Alif, I was just gonna repeat the question. So Mr. Alif, since you weren't really since you weren't really present in in that political climate where the MOJ is shut down, it has been merged with Ministry of Home Affairs.
Yes.
So what will be your party's plan to to for the Ministry of Justice in the Home Affairs?
Uh, our party's plan for the Ministry of Justice is to keep it as it is so far. However, the government and the laws still exist. So, we plan to have the judges and lawyers to play an advisory role to help make sure the law still being enforced in our country. So far, our plan is it to keep it as it is.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Alif. So at the moment, I would like to just give some insight on Labuan since it is also my constituency which I competed there. So Labuan is was a PDM stronghold here, and it has been taken over by BRM, and it is the only seat, and it is the one of the seats that was competed by an independent candidate there. Um, Stanford Raffles. Uh, I really don't know his constituency, now, but maybe we'll just get some insight on that later. But we just got another news there. Uh, P PO6 PO6 PO6. Let me just wait for that graphics. There we go. PO6 Pulau Pinang has been held by BRM. It is still being held by BRM. So far, the amount of seats, 5 for BRM, leading the race. Where I think that I think the percentage of how many seats are in is supposed to be changed right there. So let me just do some mathematical. Let me just do some mathematical things here. So currently we are 30% in, and now it is 33% in. Terengganu is now held by PDM. Terengganu is, let's check that, PO4 is held by PDM. That is yet another hold here. 5-5. The race is still tied. The race is still tied. We are yet to see any big gaps between the two major parties, and we actually we're yet to see we're yet to see seats from, well, PPR. We're yet to see some seats from PPR. Um, if PPR does not get seats in this election, then the votes for PPR will be dumped, and then this this election will be determined by how many votes is held by PDM and how many votes are held for BRM. So basically, the factor of PPR would be thrown out the window if PPR does not win any seat. If PPR does win a seat, that means PPR will win at least 4 seats tonight, because they have to reach that 10% threshold according to law. So if PPR does get that 4 seats they need, therefore PDM and PPR will be left with only 26 seats in contention, in which 10 of them have been in which 10 of them have been held. So at the moment we're just waiting for some sort of big indication between the two parties. So now let me just go over here with my material. So we mentioned the MOJ being shut down. Now let us just go over to His Majesty's Agong displeased letter. So His Majesty's letter, usually referred to as the second Agong displeased letter, was was leaked to the public. Uh, was leaked to the public, and it was real. And then the information was given to Utusan MYS. So the letter was supposedly a private letter to the government, and then somehow it was intercepted. It was somehow intercepted by someone. Now, so now I would like to discuss that quickly, not because it was leaked by an, but I want to talk about the contents of the letter. But before we talk about that, we just got another information. P13 Selangor Selatan is held by PTM. So let us just see P13 there. P13 is also a PDM hold. Yet again, another hold. So maybe let's just start from Mr. Triton here. So Mr. Triton, what is your reaction to that leak of information between the Istana Negara and the government there?
Well, I was actually very surprised because not only the letter was not sent through a government correspondent, but it was actually sent directly to the prime minister. So none of the cabinet has had access. None of the member of the government had access. So it means that it was supposed to be really discretive, very 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 secretive, but somehow it got leaked. So that was something that surprised a lot of us actually.
So quickly, I would like to talk about the contents of the letter, right? Because the focus here is not really on how it was leaked, but rather what is in the letter there, what is leaked there. So, to to just conclude the letter, to just simplify the letter says that the His Majesty expressed utmost disappointment to the government. All right. So His Majesty expressed that he expressed utmost disappointment to the government, and he said something about the government being angko or being arrogant there. So, what are your thoughts on the Agong's claims of your government, which was mostly negative?
Well, yes, we believe we was actually very shocked when we received the letter and we read the content of it, and it was mostly negative. It was criticism, and um the part where it say Angkor seperti merak was actually a very concerning, because when someone like the Agong can have said something like that, it means that maybe we are in a critical condition. Uh, so, however, we just consider what Agong said was actually um, an advice for us to fix whatever was wrong, to do better, because he was also reminding that the people chose us and stuff. So we took it as a positive note in the end. We didn't really uh we didn't really think that it was actually something that would affect us. Just an advice letter. Simply, we just think that it was an advice letter from the Agong, and then we hope to move on and to improve in the future. That was personally the reaction of most of the cabinet that time.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Titan. But however, Mr. Doom has left the call because he had to go. Since he's not here, we'll just say here, thank you for that, Mr. Doom. Have a great day ahead. Anyways, for some left out information here, PO1 parallel is held by PDM. That is a hold. And then PO4, let me just see that. PO4 Terengganu is held by PDM as well there. So PO4 has been held by PDM, and PO1 has been gained by PDM. There is another gain there. And according to the live count now, PDM is currently leading by 2. And it appears that we are starting to see the big picture of the election. So that is well a sign that we're starting to see the gist of the election. So now to so now head over to Mr. Dark. Mr. Dark, what are your thoughts on the Agong displaced letter that was that was released on January?
The feeling that me is exactly same with Triton just now, because it's quite sharp to see that this kind of letter that should be privately sent to the person that received is being displaced to the public. And in the letter, even the YDPA is mentioned that he is quite disappointed to the government, that sentence should be sent it to the government, to let the government to review their action and decision on what exactly that they did wrong, and makes the YDPA is thinking that he is disappointed to the government action. But when the moment this letter is displayed to the public, even BRM themselves is quite shocking that who is the one intercept this letter and what is his purpose for doing this. So for me and BRM parties member, we really like stand with the government and YDPA for this time, and understanding that like what exactly YDPA want to express to the government. But we also think that exactly same with the government, that this kind of letter should be sent to the government either privately or but not send it into the public.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Duck. But we just got our information. P17 and P16, I believe. P16 and P17. Oh yes, Negeri Sembilan and Malacca held both by PDM. So now currently PDM is leading by 4, not 2, not 3, but 4. And we're starting to see that PDM is starting to take the lead here in the election. We recently saw that BRM was leading in this election, but we might be getting some indication that PPR may not have won any seats in this election. They may have failed to reach that 10% threshold, and therefore, this election might be between PDM and BRM. Apologies for that. So now results are 47% in, and at the moment, so Perakutara is being, there we go, Perakutara PO7 is held by BRM. Yet another hold by BRM. Now PDM just leading by 3. We're yet to see, so we're yet to see a big lead there. We're still limited by a gap of 4 there. We're currently in a gap of 3, but currently PDM is leading by somewhat a big margin there. Now at the moment I have no materials left, but at the moment 15 seats have been announced, and SPR is still reporting in. So currently Borneo seats are still mostly empty, and the Malayan seats are starting to be filled. So currently we are still reporting that the results are still too close to call. So at the moment, we really have nothing to say here because my materials have ran out now. So maybe Mr. Triton, Mr. Okay, let's just start from Mr. Alif. So Mr. Alif, oh yeah, speaking of that Agong displeased result, I would like to mention that one thing. Mr. Alif, what are your plans to prevent this similar situation from happening there, since the government under Mir got Agong displeased letter, the government under Yao got displeased letter. So what will you do to prevent this same exact situation from happening to your government? But let's just hold your phone there for a sec. So Lembah Klang P12 has been held by PDM. There is a stronghold of PDM. Oh, another one, Johor Utara, held by PDM. That is P18, I believe. That is P18. Yes, that is a P18. That is again. Oh no, another one. P27. P27, Sri Aman. We are currently getting some big news there. Getting big news. So PDM PDM now has a lead of 6. Discord or our live stream here. So currently you can maybe write questions and maybe write some statements to to the guests here that may want to the people that may want to maybe air their grievances, air their support. You can just quickly write your statement there. So far we're So far, results are still 60% in. Results are still 60% in, but it is looking very good for PDM there. So currently PDM is still on 12 seats, BRM with 6 seats. After a long while, we got a very big announcement there. A lot of announcements. So at the moment, I really don't have any sort of material to talk about here. So maybe let's just say something. I just say something to fill in the silence and fill in the gap in my material. So Mr. Alif, what is your vision for this election and for your government?
Thank you for the question. My vision for the government is to create a better community for all Malaysian. That's based on if you have read our manifesto, our main focus is on the community related agendas. For example, we're going to sorry, we're going to have a Medilink under Home Affairs, and we're going to smoothen the establishment of DBKL, the Police Association. We are going to improve the Biz Connect, the finance, and many more if you have read our manifesto. So that's our vision for this government if elected.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Alif. Now, for Mr. Dark, same question. What is your vision for this election, and what are your wishes for this and what are your wishes for the government?
For me, that the vision of this term of general election is wherever is the votes or the result coming out, I would like to like propose a better Malaysia, no matter to the community members or to the government, even to the public servant. All I want is a better Malaysia for for the international community, so that more people will be knowing Malaysia is a wonderful place, and our nation, where is the part that the beautiful and the unique part. And in the future, whoever that become the government party, I hope that you can do well and run your operation smoothly, even that there is some confusing or some against sentence that happen in the community. But just do your best and try your best to doing the things that you think is right for the community.
Right, thank you for that, Mr. Dark. So at the moment, we're still waiting for results to come in. We're still on a big pause here, like usual. But we may expect big announcements. We may expect a lot of announcements, a lot of seat announcements, and looks like SPR has just announced something, but it was in hashtag. So we're expecting a result there. There we go. We're expecting a result. P14 is Kuala Lumpur. P14 is a stronghold for Kuala Lumpur. It is held by PDM. Another one, P23 Beaufort. Beaufort was previously held under BRM control. So now PDM with 13 seats and BRM with 7 seats. The gap remains 6. We're still yet to see the picture. But now PDM only needs 3 seats left. They only need 3 seats to form a majority to formally win the election. Again, another one, Selangor Utara it's held by PDM. They're getting close to that majority there. Now they have 14 seats. The gap increases to 7. So now for the fight of federal territories, PDM PDM holds 1, BRM holds 1 for that federal territory, for the federal territories. Now Kelantan Kelantan is held by BRM. It's held by BRM. Now the gap returns to 6. BRM with 8, PDM with 14. We're still waiting on some announcements here. And now we would like to announce that uh, now NWS will now project that there will be a majority from PDM, that NWS, I repeat, NWS projects a PDM majority. Now now it appears that our operator just got disconnected from KLCC, but we are quickly reconnecting the our network there to KLCC once again. We're still waiting for that operator. Hopefully, the operator can soon return to the camera there at KLCC. Let's just see. Okay, so it appears that we got the connection up and running once again. Pahangutara. PDM. Pahangutara is now held by PDM. PDM is close to that majority. Just one more seat there. One more seat. So quickly, we're just gonna count how many seats have been reported now. And there we go. We got the majority. PDM, NWS declares that PDM has formally won the 18th general election. I repeat, NWS reports and declares that NWS and that PDM has won majority, and they will be the next government. Now the seats are just coming in. BRM holds Kedah there. That raises them up to 8 seats. But regardless, PDM has won the election. PDM now with 17. And this indicates to us that PPR will not win any seats because the seats are only left with around 26 seats there, only 4. That's another one. There's another one. That's 19 seats. It appears that the now NWS projects a 2/3 majority for PDM. Oh, it appears that the results have all been reported 100%. So let us just go over to that. So quickly we have to count the results because since we just got disconnected there. So we are getting a statement from the SPR officials there. There is Sherman Yap, Sherman, Stanford, and one more person there. So the officials are telling people to sit down. So I think we missed by 2 seats there. So hopefully we can fix the vote count. But as far as we know, PDM has won at least. PDM should be winning at least here. Oh, there we go. We see the gap, 3 seats. We lost on information that they have won. On information that uh PDM or BRM has won either of those seats. So let me just count here. and we'll just leave you with the statement coming from SPR. And we just fixed the vote count there. So PDM has 122 seats there, and BRM with 8 seats. So far, that is the worst victory that BRM has experienced in this election. So let's just M PO5 Seberang Prai BRM PO6 Pulau Pinang BRM PO7 Perak Utara BRM PO8 Perak Selatan BRM PO9 Pang Utara PDM PO10 Perang Selatan BRM P11 Selangor Utara PDM P12 Lembah Klang PDM P13 Selangor Selatan PDM PO4 Kuala Lumpur PDM P15 Putrajaya PDM P16 Negeri Sembilan PDM P17 Melaka PDM P18 Johor Utara PDM P19 Johor Selatan PDM P20 Labuan BRM P21 Kudat PDM P22 Kinabalu PDM P23 Beaufort BRM P24 Kinabatangan PDM P25 Tao PDM P26 Kuching PDM P27 Sriaman PDM P28 Cebu PDM P29 Miri PDM and P30 Limbang PDM. So far, so at the moment PDM has 22 seats and BRM with 8 seats. So far, this is the biggest biggest victory by PDM since Secret Intelligence and the worst defeat by BRM since Secret Intelligence as well. So despite the heavy campaigning, despite the level up from BRM, despite everything that BRM has done throughout this campaign, it is not enough to satisfy the people to win over Atley, to win over some seats, but in fact they have lost seats. So SPR has finished their statement there. It appears. So just look at the map there. You'll just look at the map. So far majority blue, and then we'll just look over to the seats there. It's very blue dominated, and it appears that BRM will have another 3 months in opposition and very small leverage over the Dewan Rakyat. So despite the scandals, despite the issues in the government, PDM has PDM has won 2 more seats, and we are being told that that Istana Negara, the palace, will release a statement in 1 hour. So that is it. So it appears that that is all for this election. Let us just that is the people jumping around. So let us just go back to the studio here. All right, so let's just go over here to the studio. so far a very surprising night because PDM has been able to win 22 seats. They have gained 2 seats, and BRM losing 2 in the process, and PPR with the same fate, none at all. Now it appears, well, I guess that is it for tonight. Thank you all. Thank you to all of our audience live and listening. So thank you to the operators, journalists, and eyewitnesses. But for now, we'll just have to say goodbye. I'd say that was a great radio, don't you think? This has been NWS 18 general election. See you next election. Thank you and good night. We'll just head over and get a break.
Got got anything anymore? Okay. Okay.
Sherman, quickly fix the headline PDM
20,
2021.
20 or 21?
No, police is already become to
But release was PDM. Eh, PDM or 1,
But
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, yeah. BRM got
police is
9.
PDM.
Yep, release is PDM. So we,
okay.
so let me just see again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, PDM did get 21. I just have to clarify that information to the audience.
Okay.
So something is wrong. So oh, there we go. P10 is PRM. Of course it is PRM. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just when I say thank you to all of our audience, we'll just immediately go into mode. Okay. So it turns out that was not a good radio. Welcome back to the 18th general election coverage by NWS. Now, we'll just head over. We'll just briefly head over to the guest tonight. So, Mr. Alif, you're the main character of this election. So so your
Yes.
party has successfully won the two-thirds majority. You have gained 1 seat. So, what is your reaction to that? And
Well,
what is your party react right? How is your party reacting to that at the moment?
well, so far I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling happy and proud of our achievement. Our hard work so far has come to something. I'm communicating with the Party Leadership Council of PDM, and we all are happy for the achievement, we have gained one more seats, one more seats rather than last election. We have won 20 seats. For this election, we have won 21. So we're very proud and happy. Uh, yeah, that's all, I guess.
All right, we're just gonna quickly report on the total of votes. So it appears that NWS did have its reports correct. It appears that we have returned to an all-time low turnout. So according to the statistics by SPR there, 190 votes for PDM, 96 votes for PRM, and 24 votes for PPR. And again, that is a very so so I just got that information from my operator that Prelis has actually gone to be to BRM. So it appears, Mr. Alif, apologies, but it appears that you have not gained any seats, but you have successfully maintained that two-thirds majority, which is well very well, which is still very nice. Uh, but again, you won the two-thirds majority. I think you'll be sleeping with will be sleeping good night tonight. So now let's go over to Mr. Dark. Mr. Dark, what is your reaction to your to your well your loss there? This is so far this has been 9 elections since your party has lost there. So what is your reaction to that?
To be honest, it's quite in our expectation that maybe we can't gain quite much of supporter than PDM, because we also like quite agree with some of PDM manifesto, which they are quite great than us. But what we are gonna do is we just try our best and try our best to achieve a higher stage or a higher position that we can, and try to raise up the concern of the public that what they are trying to like what they are really worried about, and try to be a better backbencher than the previous term.
All right, thank you for that, Mr. Mr. Dark. So now we're just gonna bring you out this information. We're just gonna do a summary. So it appears that the total amount of votes there for G18, 3 and 34 votes. That means only Rosak is around 24 votes. The valid number of votes for G18 after all is 310. Total number of PDM votes 190. Votes for PDM for BRM 96 votes. PTA, well, I believe that is a bit inaccurate there. That is supposed to be PPR there. All right. So we just got another clarification that Prolis has gone to BRM. So that makes it 20 seats and 10 seats. So at the moment, we're just gonna load in the pie chart there by in vote by the sanctioned by the MYS administration. So just gonna put that on the screen right now. It should be showing up right now. Yes, there we go. That's shown up. That that is the current state of our election. Well, we'll just give you time to have a good look there. All right, I think that is the summary of tonight's election. So it is currently 10:42 p. Sorry, I'm using my Jakartan time here. 11:42 p.m. We are already on overnights. Usually NWS doesn't operate overnight, but here we are. So at the moment, well, it is now. It is now very late night, and soon enough we'll be signing off. So just before that, we'll just have to thank our guests here. We'll just thank Mr. Alif, Mr. Triton, and Mr. Dark for speaking out today, for coming out today to our show to speak about the political climate of MYS. Thank you very much for that. And also, well, I guess that is it for tonight. Thank you to all of our audience, live and listening. Thank you to the operators, journalists, and eyewitnesses. But for now, we'll just have to say goodbye. That was great radio, don't you think? This has been a NWS 18 general election. See you next election. Thank you and good night. Wow,
Okay.
shit, man.
Thank
Jesus
you.
Christ. Oh my god.